Welcome to the Lust for Life podcast, where you'll be joining a girl on her journey to discovering the depths of emotional intelligence. This is your host, Tennessee Reed. Welcome back, everyone. It's so great to be recording another episode. It's so great to have you once again. I hope you had a wonderful week full of lots of learning opportunities and opportunities itself. This is always one of my favorite parts of my week, so I'm really grateful to have this opportunity and be able to share my thoughts with you all this week. I had a really interesting week. Had a lot going on this week, and I feel like I made a lot of growth this week. Coming off of last week's episode, I talked about how I was kind of getting off my anxiety meds that I was trying and how horrible that went. I feel a lot better this week. I'm actually sleeping. I do feel some withdrawal symptoms still, but the fact that I'm sleeping makes all the difference. So that reiterates something I already knew, that sleep is very important. If you want to feel energetic, have motivation, have that lust for life, honestly, you need your sleep. Make sure you're prioritizing your sleep. For me, that is a key factor and something that I've learned that I need to prioritize so that I am the best version of myself. And some people are just able to function with lower amounts of sleep, but for me, that's not the case, and I know that about myself, so that's good. And I really prioritize my sleep, and that's what I did this week, and I feel a lot more like myself, which is really hopeful. Got kind of scary. I got a little nervous hoping that those withdrawal symptoms were going to go away. I was getting a little nervous that they weren't going to go away and I wasn't going to be back to my old self. So I'm glad that I'm able to feel that energy again, feel motivated again, and kind of get back up on my feet. And things like that are going to happen. Things are going to knock you off, and you just kind of have to pound through, have faith that as long as you're doing your best, as long as you are working your hardest, staying positive, it is what it is. Just get it done. Things will always get better, and things will work out. It's always easier said than done, but every situation in my life where I felt like, gosh, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this, somehow I'm here. I'm doing well. I'm thriving. So that's evidence to me from my own life that it's going to work out. And once again, that's easier said than done. But we'll move on to kind of the topic for this week. And something that I've really been thinking about a lot, and I actually had an experience that just really sent this home for me. The topic is, you come across certain points in your life where you have to decide, are you going to live your same comfortable life and continue doing what you've always done, or are you going to take this other path, the path less traveled, the harder path that's going to challenge you and get you uncomfortable and going to lead you to who you ultimately are supposed to be? And it seems like an easy decision from outside standpoint, but when you are the one making the decision, it can be hard. Change is always hard, and it's hard to think, A, what are other people going to think of you, like your family? And B, it's kind of scary. The unknown is scary. And when it's not perfectly planned out and it's not laid out for you, it's a lot harder to make that decision to take the road less traveled. And that's something that I have done this last year, was I have really made a lot of progress in myself, and I've pushed myself every single day harder than I ever have in my entire life to just be the best version of myself, live every day full out. Some days look different than others, but try my ultimate very hardest every single day. And I can say it's not easy. It's not easy at all. It'd be a lot easier for me just to live my comfortable life the same day in and day out without improving at all. But that's not the road that I've chosen to pursue, and that's the life I've chosen. You know, David Goggins in his books in his podcast, he always says, it's hard that you chose this life. It's hard. It's hard to wake up every morning at 5 a.m., sub 5 a.m. to get your workout in. It's hard to get yourself uncomfortable every day. It's not fun. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And you've got to push yourself every single day. And I I am evidence that it is not easy, but it is pretty cool to see where I've come from. And something happened yesterday with Jake and I that just kind of reiterates this scenario that most people will come across in their life at least once, often multiple times. But we were going grocery shopping. We actually just went out with the missionaries to help teach a lesson yesterday night, last minute, which is always fun. It's always a great opportunity to kind of get out and do that and just love and serve the people in your community that way by sharing God and the gospel. But we often do that, but we did that yesterday with the missionaries. And after, we wanted to go grocery shopping before Sunday, so we didn't have to go on Sunday. And we try to keep the Sabbath day holy. But while we were out grocery shopping, we were pulling into the parking lot, and I was looking at this like really young kid just sitting on the corner. And as we were pulling in, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's holding a sign. And like, he says he's homeless. I'm like, and you really don't see that often. A really young boy, a young man holding a homeless sign, and he looked somewhat freshly shaven, fresh haircut was fresh. And so I was just like, man, is he a student? I was so worried that he was a UNC student because it's right by UNC. And I just had this feeling, I'm like, Jake and I really need to go talk to him. And I usually wouldn't do this if I was by myself, but because I was with Jake, I felt comfortable doing this. But I said, Jake, we need to go talk to him. So we pulled over. We had a Jersey Mike's gift card that we were going to give him. But we pulled over and we kind of made our way over there and started chatting with him. And we were just like, hey, like, what's going on, man? Like, and he just said he lost his job. He couldn't pay rent. So he got kind of evicted from his apartment. So he just doesn't have a home right now. And we were like, well, like, man, that seems really hard. Where are you staying right now? And he said he's living at the homeless camp just down the road. And we're like, man, like, do you feel safe there? And he's like, sometimes not. We're like, that's pretty harsh. Like, what can we do for you right now? Like, we have this gift card. And he kind of took it and was like, thanks. He had already gotten food from someone that night. But we're like, what else can we get you? And he's like, well, I don't think there's anything that you guys can get me unless you can get me some cigarettes. And I just kind of sat there and was like, gosh, that's so sad. And he just kind of seemed like he was on something else also a little bit. Just kind of was a little like nonchalant in the conversation. But I decided that this is a great opportunity for Jake and I to take. And we kind of just had a real honest chat with him. And I said, we both were kind of chatting with him, but we said something along the lines of, you're only 20 years old, Luke. You have a whole life ahead of you. And, regardless of your past is your past, unfortunately. But your future is still there. And you can make a decision right now if you want that this is no longer going to be the life that you're going to live, because this decision right now, the decision you're going to make of whether you're going to continue to live the life that you've been living or if you're going to change your life and start pushing yourself and start getting things together, you can have a beautiful life and you can do a lot of wonderful things, and you are a valued person, and you are somebody who can really contribute to society. You may not feel that right now, but you are. And we believe in you. You can truly do anything you set your mind to. And we kind of just reiterated, it's going to take one big decision right now, but, you're going to love that you made that decision later on. But this is a big decision for you. You have a whole life ahead of you. And it's going to take a lot of work. You got to start by getting that job, start getting things together slowly, and start building off that. And I love that Jake also added in, like, hey man, like just say some prayers to God. Like he knows your name. Like he knows you. He knows you're out here struggling. Say some prayers to God and he's going to help you. He's going to take care of you if you let him. And he like said, thank you. He was very grateful. And we just kind of went on shopping, that night. And I'm not sure if that conversation did anything. I'm not sure if he even will remember that conversation in an hour. But, like, we did our best to help those around us. And I felt empowered that we did that, knowing that we are making those around us better, and we're trying our very best in serving those around us. So we just came back from teaching somebody with the missionaries that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints missionaries, the church that we're a part of, we just got back from teaching a lesson about Christ with this person in our community. And then we went and we talked to this person and kind of shared our thoughts about Christ and, you know, personal improvement and things like that. And so I just thought it was cool. Like, I don't know if I would have done that last year, but now that I feel empowered, I'm able to help those around me. So I just felt really grateful that I had the opportunity to share kind of my light with others. And that's what truly brings me happiness, is to share my light with others. And that's why I podcast, and that's why I do what I do. And another thought that I had with this experience was, it is so easy for me to see other people's potential. Like, I don't know if it's easy for everyone else, but for me, I am like, heck yeah, you can do it. Like, I will be your hype woman all day long. I will be there from every step of the way, hyping you up, like, I'll be your cheerleader. If you don't have one, just, I will sit there and be your cheerleader. Something that's harder for me, and this might be the same case for you all too, is sometimes I'm pretty harsh on myself. Like, sometimes I don't know if I catch myself saying, you can do anything you set your mind to, or you are loved and you are a good piece of this society. And when I said that to Luke, I truly meant it. But when I say that to myself, do I truly mean it? I hope that I mean it, but sometimes I'm just a little harsh on myself. And I have these high expectations for myself. And so I thought it was interesting that for me, it's so easy to like believe in everybody around me. But for some reason, it's a little harder to say those same things about myself and truly mean it. So that's something I'm really going to start working on. I truly do believe that I can do anything that I set my mind to, but I feel like there's a lot of fear that I still need to get over. And that's just part of my journey. That's part of my journey of pushing myself each week. That's part of my journey of improving my mindset, because it's hard to reset your mind after years of creating these neurological pathways, and then all of a sudden you're trying to reset your unconscious mind. That's not easy to do in just a snap of your fingers in a sentence saying, I'm going to reset my mind. It takes a lot of work every single day, and it's not pretty all the time. It's not easy. Sometimes you feel like absolute garbage, but it's necessary to put in the work and have those ups and downs. And so I thought that was really interesting observation that I made, that it is so easy for me to see others through Christ's lens and see the potential in others. And I'm like, man, I need to do that to myself a little more. Like, when I say things to myself, positive things, I need to mean it. Like, I am working on my mindset, but like, I want to get to the point where like, I have as much conviction in my tone as I do when I talk to other people. So that's something I'm going to work on. I just thought that was a cool experience. And I that's something that just kind of was brought to my attention this week that I really wanted to work on. And we'll switch tracks here for just a minute. Another experience that I had this week with kind of growing my emotional intelligence, but also just trying to figure out kind of what my purpose here in life is, what I want to do with my life. That's been a long journey for me. I don't know if I've ever truly known what I want to do. I've known things I like, So I started a business last year in Utah where I was injecting neurotoxin for clients, so Botox. And I really enjoyed doing that. But we weren't in Utah long enough for that to really take off. But it was a great learning experience for me. I learned a lot about the business side of things. I learned about a lot how to just set up a business, period. That was always kind of intimidating for me. So just to learn how to do that was really great. But I ended up closing that business because I didn't really know enough people out here. I just didn't know if I wanted to continue injecting out here. And while I was in Utah, I also kind of wanted to explore just a little bit of like the different business sides of things. I really was intrigued by business. I'm not a business major at all, so I literally knew zero about business, this much, zip. I'm holding up a zero with my hands, but you guys can't see it. So I was like, I want to kind of explore that a little bit. So I came across the word affiliative marketing. And essentially what that is you get money off of people using your link that you give them for products. And I just kind of messed with that a little bit. I learned a little bit about it. I put a few links up for my business account. I didn't generate enough money for that to be like profitable, but I still did it because I wanted to learn about it. And you could say I failed both of those. I felt like a failure at first, but looking back, I'm like, that literally is just a learning experience. And I did lose a lot of money doing it. Not a lot, but for right now in our financial state, I did lose a lot. But it was a learning experience, and it was kind of just getting my foot in the door, and it is what it is. So those kind of were my two first fails, I guess you could say. And then while we were out here, a friend like kind of was talking to me a little bit about Amway. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it's a multi-level marketing system. And we just learned a lot about it. She taught me a lot about how that works and how you can generate income from being kind of affiliated with multi-level marketing. And for me, I just decided that's not something that I wanted to pursue because it just really wasn't an interest for me. But it was cool to learn about that. So now I've got 3 different business models that I've learned about that I haven't really pursued, but it's something that I have learned about, which I'm really grateful. While we were out here, I was really looking into homes and buying a condo or buying a home. And I literally had no idea how any of that worked. Nothing. And so I spent a lot of time learning about mortgage rates and how much a home actually costs and how much of a sacrifice is it going to be? At what point are we going to be ready for a home? So that's another thing. That's 5. Those are all 5 different business models or income streams that I've explored. While we were out here, I actually started, I don't know if you guys are aware of drop shipping. It's essentially you have this website and you have manufacturers from across the world. And when a customer comes to your website, they buy a product, you notify the manufacturers that, hey, someone just ordered this product. I need you to send it directly to them. And that's how drop shipping works. So I actually started a drop shipping company out here. I've had a few orders. And for me, I just decided, this really isn't for me. It's not really I'm just not feeling fulfilled from this. But I learned about it. And that's 6 things now. That's 6 different income streams / business models that I've learned that I'm not mastered at, but I know enough to kind of get my way through it. And now this last week, I have come up with an idea that I think I feel very, very confident about. I feel very almost life's purpose about, and I'm really excited to pursue it. I'm not going to share the details because I think it's going to be quite a work in progress, but it's something that I'm going to start working on here. But my thing is I've already explored 6 different business models to kind of get to this point. you could say I failed 6 times. You could say that. And I'm okay with that because failure, that's just a learning opportunity. Failure, if you're not failing, you're not trying. And something that you always hear when you're snow skiing in the mountains, if you're not crashing, you're not pushing yourself. You're not pushing yourself hard enough. So that's the same concept that I'm seeing here. And my uncle posted a video on his Instagram yesterday, and it was this professor who had a class for ceramics, for pottery. And he split the class in groups, and some of the groups spent 30 days working on one project together, perfecting it. And the other groups spent every day creating a different pot. And at the end of the 30 days, they were going to pick the best looking pots. And the professor, without knowing, or whoever was judging without knowing, picked the pots almost every time, the ones that from the groups that built one every single day, and not the ones that were working on it for a whole 30 days trying to perfect this one thing. So it's evident that it's better just to get up on your feet and you try and fail, try, fail, try, fail, try, fail until you succeed. Better than just sitting there so overwhelmed by this one thing, trying to make it perfect. It's never going to be perfect. And that's coming from me. I am a actively recovering perfectionist where I'm like, everything needs to be perfect all the time. And it doesn't need to be. And this also is shown in my life that I have tried 6 different business models essentially already. I haven't invested a ton, but I have invested a good chunk of my money into these. And you could say I failed. But I genuinely feel like this next one that I'm going to do, this truly is the one. And I'm going to work on it. And if it works out, then amazing. If it doesn't, then I'll try again. But I would not have gone to this point if I did not continually try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, try, fail. I've learned so many skills in those failing attempts, like how to build a website, how to communicate to customers, how to, etc. There's so many things that I've learned. But I would not have reached this point of, knowing what I truly want to do without trying for over, 2 years, kind of doing these little business models, figuring out, oh, this is not for me. Oh, this is for me. This is not for me. And I'm really excited to pursue this next project of mine. So I'm going to keep it a secret for now, but I will release it in a little bit. Probably it's going to be a while. I'm going to continue to work on this, but so I just thought that was another cool thing, how things just line up in your life. The lessons you're learning kind of, they relate to the things you're also looking at. So I'm learning this lesson of these different business models. And then my uncle posted that video about the ceramics class. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing the same thing. That makes me feel so much better. So it's cool how when you are kind of learning these different lessons, these outside factors, these outside experiences, just, they all come together. They all mean something for this lesson that you're learning. And you just have to keep your eyes out and you have to take those opportunities. You have to keep your mind open. And I'm sure I miss a lot of opportunities, but I was just so grateful that this week I was able to connect those and just feel empowered by it. But that was my week, and I'm just really happy with this week. I had a lot of growth. I had a lot going on, but ultimately I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at with everything, and I'm excited to start school in the fall, and I have a lot of opportunities going for me, and I'm really excited where this will take me. I'm kind of in the grind right now. This is kind of the moment. This time right now is kind of, I know it's crucial, so I'm going to work as hard as I can to set the foundation for the rest of my life, and I'm going to enjoy the journey through that, so I'm excited for that. And before we kind of go our ways today, I just wanted to remind everyone that we do have that book club going on right now. It's not too late to join for this month. We are reading The Mountain Is You, and it is in my bio on my Instagram. It's also in my highlight stories, so you can look at the exact cover to make sure you're buying the right one. But we will have a podcast discussion about that at the end of the month. And if you're interested in joining that, you're more than welcome to message me and I'll get you in the group for it. And I'm really excited just to kind of create this culture with everyone. You become like the people you surround yourself with. So let's surround ourselves with some amazing people that are going to push themselves and truly have this lust for life. Because if you look at life through the wrong lens, you're just enduring life. And that is, life can be really hard. And I'm sure I have a lot going for me in the future, but I want to have this lust for life. And so I really want to create this community for everybody. So once again, if you're interested, just shoot me a message. But thanks so much for being here today. Once again, it's always such a pleasure to have you, and we will see you next week.